hidden facts unfolding. TV films with legal flair, real verdict taking you there.
Welcome back to Real Verdict, where we break down real legal issues in your favorite films. I'm your host, Samantha, and today we're diving into the 2003 drama House of Sand and Fog. This film presents a heartbreaking clash over home ownership, non-payment of taxes, and some serious criminal acts. Buckle up, because we're about to enter murky legal waters. House of Sand and Fog is a film about property, loss, and the devastating consequences of bureaucratic errors. If you haven't seen it, don't worry. I'll keep the spoilers light, but here's a quick rundown. The film centers around two characters: Kathy, a woman whose house is wrongfully taken due to a clerical error over unpaid taxes, and Colonel Barani, a former Iranian military officer who buys the house at auction. The conflict over who rightfully owns the house escalates to tragic proportions. So, let's take a look at the real property issues and the crimes that arise from this emotionally charged situation. At the heart of this movie is the legal concept of real property. That's a fancy way of saying land and anything attached to it, like a house. In this case, Kathy's home is seized due to non-payment of property taxes. Sounds straightforward, right? But there's a twist. In the movie, Kathy's home was sold in a county auction because she allegedly failed to pay her property taxes. But as it turns out, Kathy didn't actually owe any taxes. It was an administrative error. This brings us to a critical real-world legal question. Can your home really be taken away for unpaid property taxes? In the U.S., if a property owner fails to pay their property taxes, the local government can place a tax lien on the property. If the taxes remain unpaid, the government can foreclose on the lien and auction off the property to recover what's owed. This process, called a tax foreclosure, is perfectly legal. However, in House of Sand and Fog, we see an instance of wrongful foreclosure due to a mistake in the system. Legally, Kathy could have fought this in court by filing a wrongful foreclosure action, demanding the government undo the sale. Unfortunately, in real life, these cases can be slow, leaving people like Kathy in a state of limbo, often without access to their homes for months or even years. Had she taken this step early on, much of the conflict in the movie might have been avoided. Now let's talk about the crimes in this film, because as emotions rise, so does the body count. Spoiler warning here. The film doesn't just deal with property law, it also deals with manslaughter, false imprisonment, and other potential criminal offenses. Let's break these down. Manslaughter. Without giving too much away, one of the key plot points involves a tragic death that can be classified as involuntary manslaughter. In legal terms, manslaughter is an unlawful killing without the intent to kill. This is distinct from murder, which requires premeditation. The film's climactic event shows a death resulting from reckless actions, fitting the definition of involuntary manslaughter. False imprisonment. In a pivotal scene, one character is forcibly detained inside the house against their will. This act constitutes false imprisonment, which is the unlawful restraint of a person without their consent. In this case, the detainment was motivated by desperation, but legally, intent or motivation doesn't negate the fact that it's a crime. Assault. In moments of extreme tension, physical confrontations occur. These would legally fall under assault and battery. Even if the parties were emotionally distressed, physical violence escalates the situation into criminal territory. Unlawful use of a firearm. Another significant element in the film involves the unlawful discharge of a firearm. In many states, discharging a firearm without proper cause, especially in a residential area, can lead to severe criminal charges, regardless of the shooter's emotional state. The tragedy in House of Sand and Fog ultimately stems from a combination of legal missteps and emotional reactions. While the characters believe they are fighting for what's rightfully theirs, their actions lead to devastating consequences, both legally and morally. So, what can we learn from the legal issues in House of Sand and Fog? First, The importance of due process in property disputes. Kathy's failure to promptly address the foreclosure legally sets the stage for the conflict. It's a reminder that if your property is at risk, you must act quickly to protect your rights. Second, the film demonstrates how criminal acts, even those spurred by emotional distress, can escalate property disputes into dangerous territory. While Birani legally purchased the house, the ensuing actions of both parties crossed legal lines, resulting in tragic consequences that could have been avoided through legal channels. If you're interested in more breakdowns of legal issues in film, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Real Verdict brings you the facts behind the fiction, one film at a time. See you next time, where we'll be putting another movie on trial.